Ịgba na-ege ntị, anyị ekene unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi tata. Daalụ niile unu si wee na-eso ile ya na-eme n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke tata. Asị m unu nke echikwara ya zere. Asị m na ya dịrị nchere na mma. Na ya dị ka echi na-eche ada agwụ ọgwụ. Otu anyị kwuru otu ọkụ ya dịrịrị. Ise dịka o si dị, anyị eje ije gbapụrụ ya ọsọ ịkọwala unu ya na igosi unu ya bụ ife anyị ji maka ya wee bịa n'ụbọchị nke taa bụ 13th of December. Anyị na-akpọkwa ya evening tea, dịka anyị si ede ya n'iru akwụkwọ. O nwere ihe Biafra Prime Minister wetagasị ọkwa si n'iru akwụkwọ ma chukwu unu ga ya bụ ife unu ga-esi unu atinyela anyị your own contribution gbasara maka ife ichenụ n'ụdị nke gị, maka na nkwa ekwere unu na ego na-enye unu update. Dịka ị na-echekwa chedekwa na onye ndu ga-enyekwa broadcast today again. So mana ka ejigodi nke anụ wee si unu nnọọ before aya wee kpọkwala unu ya bụ a fresh broadcast between you and Tanzania commander. All right, over to you, sir.
Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai.
Right.
He went there to see him. They had a good meeting, presumably. And on his way back, together with his wife and driver, they were waylaid on the highway where they were all abducted. The driver was allowed to go. The bandits raped his wife.
Oh my.
The wife's Majesty the King. They raped her in front of him before setting her off. And after collecting a ransom of about 10 million on the promise that they were going to release him,
Right.
he was brutally assassinated. It did not stop.
The same thing they brought to Biafra land, thing they are doing, the Fulanis are doing in Biafra land today, was happening in Kaduna. This is what this is explaining here.
There. When the elders of Adara land demonstrated, the police came, rounded them up, and put them in prison for about a year with no real charges or trials. They were eventually released. Meanwhile, attacks were incessant. They were continuous. It was a case of continuous pounding of an unarmed and defenseless people. And it has continued. It has spread from Adara land to other villages and Manchok, Kapgoro very recently, Kurmin Masara, Takwai Isa, Ataka Mawe, Fadan Atakar, Duga, Zangon Katav, Magama, Zamando, the list goes on and on. The figures are not reliable, but it is clear that we are talking of a very serious and well calculated and well strategized, killings.
What caused these killings, Dr. Obadiah?
That amount to genocide.
What could have caused this? What could have caused this particular killing that you've enumerated? What is the cause? Do you have an idea?
Well, again, let me just also clear one fact that in the 80s and 90s, you asked me for the immediate causes, which the immediate, process of killings, which I explained, but it goes as far back as the 80s and 90s. You may have heard of the infamous Zangon Kataf killings.
That's right.
In which the settlers, Zango means a settlement. And in ancient times, the house of people who were itinerant traders used to pass through there. They would settle there and, water their camels and their donkeys, and then proceed on whatever journeys they were going to. And then eventually became a kind of more permanent settlement for the Hausa Fulani community. Hence it is called Zangon Kataf, in Kataf land. Then they began to demand control of the market and even demand to have their own chief. And of course, which was not acceptable to the people, and it eventually led to the infamous Kataf riots and killings, which were mutually violent, if I may put it that way.
Okay.
And I can tell you this because I heard directly from him himself. General Zamani Lekwot, very distinguished military officer, retired from the Nigerian Army, former governor of Rivers State, and ambassador to Senegal. He, together with another very patriotic colonel, Colonel Yohanna Madeki, they went to the police to report what was going on and to seek for help. And you will not believe it. The police detained both of them.
Why?
Yes.
Are you hearing that? The police detained both of them. The question you should be asking yourself is, police detain a colonel, police detain a military man who go to report what the Fulani terrorists are doing to their people. Police detain them. Do you think if that police is an Igbo man, the police will detain them? The answer is no. Do you think if the police is a Yoruba man, the police will detain them? The answer is no. The police would have respected the law and listened to them instead of detaining them. But because Fulani have taken over the police, so they gave order to detain them. Because the people they want to file report against is in charge of the police. They are also in charge of the military. The same Southern Kaduna you are seeing now, the GOC of Enugu 82 Division was in charge of this particular Southern Kaduna where this killing was going on. So who do you report to? Nobody. You have to report to yourself. Take charge of the security of your land, because Fulani terrorists have taken charge of the police, the army, the executive, the judiciary, the National Assembly, and everything has been taken over by the Fulani terrorists. You don't have any choice. Don't need to go to them. That is what the BIAFRA people have done. That is what gave birth to the Eastern Security Network. And we are going to fund them till the last day in Nigeria, Biafra will stay in Nigeria. So, when you hear all this testimony, you ask yourself, why this thing was going on in Kaduna, all these Igbo who call themselves P2B people, they were all thinking that Southern Kaduna was not Nigeria. No, they thought it was not Nigeria. So it is not their business. Today, the same thing this man is saying now is happening in the Southeast, where the same person who was the GOC of a 2 division was in charge of Southern Kaduna, and he has now brought the same people to Southeast, and the killing is going on. They now begin to write against Simon Ekpa because Simon Ekpa say Biafra must come this year. Do you understand it? Because they follow who is protecting them. First, when Buhari entered as a rock, he brought all of them from all other African countries. Now, when Buhari begin to appoint other leaders of the Fulani terrorists, then any place they appoint them, this or that one will drag them there. So now they have dragged them into Southeast because of the GOC of 82 Division Enugu, who came to give shield to the massacre in Ehamufu. He did not only give shield, he ordered the military to burn houses, and they burnt about 100. Over 100 houses were burned in Ehamufu by military, not the Fulani, by military. Ask yourself, who are these people protecting? Who are these military working for? Whose interest are the military protecting? Is it the interest of the people, or interest of the government, or interest of the Fulanis? Because the interest of the people is the government. So definitely, it cannot be the interest of the people. So whose interest? Interest of Islamic State. Because the people that came to Ehamufu to kill were actually, their main motive is to kill and evict the people from Ehamufu. So they couldn't do it. Military have to come and do it by themselves. Do you see it? Do you hear that people that came to report about the Fulani invasion was detained by police? Who is the Fulani? Oh my goodness. This is happening in Biafra land today. And they thought that, you know, where is this coming from? This cannot happen in Nigeria. It happened in Southern Kaduna, but they didn't pay attention. because it was not coming from them. When it was happening in Southern Kaduna, everybody was deaf. Nobody was hearing the only thing we see on social media is that the other day they have lied 100 bodies and they are giving the mass burial. And everybody is shouting, oh my God, Southern Kaduna, what did these people do? But the same thing is now happening, and they are now behaving as if they were not in Nigeria before when it was happening in Southern Kaduna. They now behave that, oh, such thing is abomination. It has never happened before. We were there when this particular thing happened in the South, it is happening in Southern Kaduna. And when they sent this particular GOC to some places, they rejected it. I was told that Odunuwa, Yoruba people rejected him, and they forwarded him to the southeast. So I want everybody to watch.
Were mutually violent, if I may put it that way.
Okay.
And I can tell you this because I heard directly from him himself. General Zamani Lekwot, very distinguished military officer, retired from the Nigerian Army, former governor of Rivers State, and ambassador to Senegal. He, together with another very patriotic colonel, Colonel Yohanna Madeki, they went to the police to report what was going on and to seek for help. And you will not believe it. The police detained both of them.
Oh my.
Yes. Now, General Zamani Lekwot is a highly principled officer, very patriotic. As a young officer, he distinguished himself during the Nigeria-Biafra War. And somehow he was not in the good books of General Ibrahim Babangida, because he used to tell him to his face what he felt was wrong with his policies. So they were waiting for an alibi, and they got it.
And when he said he distinguished himself during Nigeria-Biafra War, I do not need to tell you what that means. He said that general distinguished himself during the Nigeria-Biafra War. So, as such, he should be respected. And you need to know what that distinguishing himself during Nigeria-Biafra War means, because he fought against Biafra. And today, Fulani killed them. Not only that Fulani killed them, they also humiliated him by locking him up, detaining him on top of the killing of his people. That is the price you pay for fighting against Biafra. Today, all of them are regretting why they fight. That is why this year, when we drag them into this war, everybody will fight against whatever they want to fight against.
I gotta check what I have.
You think they will come back and fight against Fulani or fight for Fulani? It's never going to happen. We will drag everybody into this war. We will drag into this war. We will drag
more popular and
other group that are not
in Igbo land today.
Everybody will fight this war together.
And that envy is one of the things that pushed them to sabotage him and sold him to the enemies, to the Fulani. Yes. So, what makes him popular? Because he's talking about Biafra
war.
Because he wants Biafra.
That's why he is popular.
That's why people love him. That's why we cherish him. Because he's a Biafran. He doesn't believe in him. And the general Igbo, the whole Igbo who love Mazi and love him because he is talking about Biafra. The whole Igbos who are following Mazi and are following him because he is talking about Biafra. And when you are following somebody because of what he's doing, that means you believe in that person and you believe in what that person is doing.
Because you tell him to his face what he felt was wrong with his policies.
So if the 99.99 Igbos
and they got
are following Mazi,
so they arrested
99.99% of Igbos,
created a
kangaroo court
is
the politicians and the likes of Iguanyanwu, and the ocean.
In the end, even the judge said that his hands were tied,
99.99% of Igbos love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, cherish Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, believe in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and follow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
General Zamani Court has explained to me himself.
We don't want this. We don't want this. Let me make it categorically clear today that 99.99% of the entire Igbos believe in Biafra.
That is where some OB supporters are telling some people to come to Nigeria now. Come to Nigeria now. We will destroy Nigeria from afar, and we will restore the nation from different nations in Nigeria. Nigeria is gone, collapsed. Then you come to Nigeria. Look at the story of Nigeria. Look at it. Listen to it. If a man who have served as a former governor, a military officer who fought and distinguished himself during Biafra war, can be treated like this for reporting a terrorist in his community. Who are you? Who are you? Even that time, Fulani has not taken over everywhere. So who are you? That is why we are not bothered of what this nonsense you are writing. That is why we are not bothered of all this propaganda, all this news media. You are all inside the bottle, caged. So we are not moved by what you write.
Torture, the agony. That for 2 weeks, they took him to the section where people are condemned and ready to be killed.
Oh, wow.
They put him next to the execution chamber. Early in the morning, they wake him up and say, let him have his last breakfast. They will open the execution chamber as if they are taking him there, and then they will close it again. They kept doing that for 2 weeks. Most people would have run insane. But he is a strong man. He became toughened psychologically, endured it until the outcry of the public dissuaded the Babangida administration from committing murder. So, Zambon Katab, and in the 90s, they came to my local government, which is Sanga local government, during all this Sharia palaver.
Okay.
And they brought a huge amount of money to the local Hausa chief and told him that his duty was to enforce Sharia in Sanga land.
Who are the Dr. Badaya?
The military administration of that time, together with some foreign jihadist interests, they had a huge amount of money in Gwentu. Please take this record it is extremely important.
Yeah.
So a young man.
That reminds me. They said he said they brought money, and that they should follow jihadist interest and all that. I want to show you people that it is also happening as I speak. We were told that in Enugu, they gathered some men and they promised them money. They asked them to leave and abandon Biafra struggle. They asked them to abandon Biafra struggle, and I'm going to put you here. They said they should abandon Biafra struggle, that they are going to be paying them salary. That is it. Now tell me, how can salary be the solution for your own freedom? I want you, look at these people you see on the screen. These are people that are fighting for Biafra. They went to Enugu. They said they want to go and collect amnesty. Have you seen where a freedom fighter is collecting amnesty? I don't know whether they are fighting for freedom or they are fighting for resource control. I do not know the kind of resource they were fighting to control in any ways. But look at them. They want to collect salary. They gathered them. They say, come, lay down your weapon, stop Biafra, stop agitating, we'll be paying you salary every month, every month. What these idiots that you see here now, of course, they are not many. What these idiots don't know is that when they are paying this salary, it will just last for a while. And then the person that will change the salary will come. And Nigeria have happened to them. They never receive that salary again. Now they gather them, tell them, come. We are going to repay you salary every month. So leave Biafra. And some of them will accept it. Some of them will not accept it. And that is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said they will pay you money. They will promise you even to buy you a house in Dubai. They will promise you everything, but you can't stop this Biafra from coming. You can't stop this Biafra from coming. Tell the people in Enugu Ezike, the few of them, not all of them. Oh,
but there is one thing I want all of us to understand this very evening. We are facing a very formidable array of enemies, both external and within.
And by Darupan Linne no Darun Linne can see when they saw any name. Near Apono Boston Ketabo 13th of December 2023. Kefu Riki Kubastamaka Bifinogase. Near Aqua. Okanefa brokers Mazi Simon Eba Nebru before. Oya BIAFRA IT Duno. Or the female graduate. Duko no ya bife kefi wede keku basta maka ya bife no niro akwa no kefi wede keku drop ya on the comment below. All right, thank you and stay tuned at Eastern News 24. Keep me on the bar.